Today, we will examine the artwork and biography of a 19th century American painter named Winslow Homer. Homer is widely recognized as one of the top American artists of the 1800s due to his mastery of sketching, watercolor, and oil painting. His subjects, ranging from maritime narratives to scenes of everyday life in the 1800s, capture the essence of the human spirit and create a sense of nostalgia for the viewer. Let's explore the life and artwork of Winslow Homer, an artist you should know. Winslow Homer was born in New England on the 24th of February, 1836. After spending his early years in Cambridge, Massachusetts, his family moved to the New England countryside, where he enjoyed a happy childhood. His artistic inclinations were encouraged by his mother, an amateur painter. When he was 19, his father got him an apprenticeship at the lithographic firm of John Buford in Boston. Within a few years, he was submitting his own drawings for such periodicals as Harper's Weekly. In 1859, Homer moved from Boston to New York City, where he opened a studio in the 10th Street Studio Building to begin a career as a freelance illustrator. The following year, he exhibited his first paintings at New York's National Academy of Design. In 1861, with the outbreak of the Civil War, Homer was commissioned to create drawings for Harper's, but unlike most artist-correspondents, he decided to depict views of everyday camp life rather than scenes of battle. Although Winslow Homer's studio was in New York City, he was known to spend his spring and summer months in the Hudson River Valley, Pennsylvania, and New England. In 1866, Homer went to France for about a year, where he was influenced by a thriving art scene. In 1873, Homer began to work in watercolor, which allowed him to work much faster and capture nature in the moment. This inspired him to focus much more on atmospheric effects and reflected light found in nature, which he then would incorporate into his oil paintings. At this time, his oil paintings became larger, his figures more expressive, and his naturalistic detail much more realistic. He was inspired by an everyday human experience, including women and people of different ethnic backgrounds. In 1881, Homer traveled to England, where he spent about 2 years sketching and painting at a remote fishing port on the North Sea named Cullercote. He was intrigued by the life of the hardy fishermen who struggled against the sea to earn their livelihood, as well as the women of the town who mended the nets and kept house while the men were out at sea. In 1883, Homer returned to America, and the sea became the dominant theme in his work. He moved to Neck, a fishing village on the coast of Maine. Here, Winslow embraced solitude, which he found necessary for his artistic growth. his paintings began to involve subjects dealing with the struggles between humans and the forces of nature, oftentimes incorporating symbolism and allegorical elements. It was here he experienced heroic men pitting their strength, intelligence, and experience against the mighty sea. This inspires some of Homer's most impressive paintings. In 1893, Winslow Homer's paintings shifted a bit, took a short break from painting the sea, and instead focused on wildlife and nature. This, however, was short-lived, as the sea was calling his name. In 1898, Winslow's father died. This had a dramatic effect on Winslow, which was then translated into his art. In 1899, Winslow Homer painted the Gulf Stream. He was 63 years old when he created this painting. Because of his father's death the previous year, Winslow was experiencing feelings of abandonment and vulnerability, while solitarily contemplating his own end. Homer's The Gulf Stream depicts an ominous seascape containing a small, rudderless fishing boat without a mast or sails. There's a man stranded on the boat, surrounded by sharks and a rough sea, with a waterspout in the background. Even though the boat is surrounded by calamity and rocking to one side, the man seems relatively calm, looking into the distance. The helpless man, though, seems to be at peace, not fearing the sharks or forces of nature, symbolizing Homer's mindset of finding inner strength against all odds. Other symbolic elements refer specifically to his father's funeral. The ebony cross on the bow of the boat symbolizes mortality. The open hatch of the craft symbolizes a tomb, and the ropes resemble the type of ropes used to lower a body into the grave. There's a small rescue boat barely visible in the background. This could represent salvation, hope, or redemption. Winslow Homer continued to spend the remaining decade of his life in solitude, painting in his Prouts Neck studio until his final days. Winslow Homer died on September 29, 1910. During his life, Winslow Homer was recognized as a leading American artist, and his work brought top prices. His maritime themes are among the most powerful and expressive of late 19th century American art. However, at the turn of the century, his style of art became less popular and he faded into obscurity. His death was a mere footnote at the time, and it wouldn't be until years to come before he was recognized once again for his artistic achievements.